let's go inside Beaver Dam High School athletics and activities right now as we bring in Director of Athletics and Activities, Ryan Gerber, as we are heading down the home stretch of the winter sports high school season, Mr. Gerber. And boy, a lot of stuff going on. And as we talk right now, let's start with wrestling, because the Beaver Dam wrestling program is sending 5 student athletes, and I know you're probably wearing your singlet right now, but 3 boys, 2 girls are going to be competing and representing Beaver Dam this weekend in Madison.
Yep, 5 wrestlers from our program, 3 guys, 2 girls, like you mentioned, qualified last weekend to the state tournament. And that state tournament, the boys and the girls, runs at the same time at the Kohl Center. So they'll be going at the same time starting Thursday already.
You know, talking to Coach Winker, and we'll hear his interview on ESPN Beaver Dam. You can see it posted at dailydodge.com. There's nothing like the state wrestling tournament, is there? Just with activity, you get cheers from all over the venue, and you're looking around to see what's happening where. It's just such a cool feeling, isn't it?
There is nothing like it. And if you ever get an opportunity to go and just check it out, nothing like it. They sell out the Kohl Center all 3 days, all throughout the different sessions. The semifinals typically, traditionally, were the best night, because that's, all the fighting to get into the finals was just incredible. The finals is unlike anything else. They put on a heck of a show. It's really regarded nationally as one of the top state tournaments in the country. I was just watching video of a state tournament down south, and it looked like it was in a high school gym. We're in the Kohl Center. It's a huge show. It's amazing. If you don't get goosebumps as part of that, there's something wrong with you. So it's an amazing event. And it really is one of the crown jewels of the WIA for the state tournament series.
And it's fun. And again, 5 student athletes from Beaver Dam. That's so cool to see. A lot of Beaver Dams will be mentioned, throughout the event, and it's just great to see, those kids represent our high school in our district.
Yeah. So, Sally Lumens, she'll be up there for the first time. She I think this is her first year, maybe her second year wrestling. But she was able to qualify for the state tournament. She had to beat a girl from DeForest in a true wrestleback, true second place finish at the sectional last Friday. A girl that she's wrestled 4 or 5 different times throughout the year. And that match went into overtime. She fell behind 7-1 early. She clawed her way all the way back, got into overtime, and was able to get a takedown. I think 45 seconds into that period. So she had to fight and scrap to get there. So really proud of her. Charlie Winicky, she'll be making a return trip to the state tournament. Last year, she had qualified and got beat early, but she's been really on a mission this year to avenge those losses. I know she's wrestled a couple of girls that she saw at state throughout the regular season this year and gotten wins. So she had a really strong sectional tournament. Regionals didn't go as well as she had hoped, so it's nice to see her refocus and get herself ready for sectionals. I know she'll be on a mission to get onto the podium at state. And then on the boys' side, Avery Femwright makes his return. Last year, you'll remember, he qualified and placed 6th place at the state tournament last year. There were some things I know he felt he could have done differently up there. So he'll get that opportunity to avenge that and see if he can move up on the podium. And then the Grow brothers, Landon Grow at 175. He's a junior. He'll be back next year. He qualifies for the first time. In fact, in his championship match at sectionals, he won his 100th career win. So very poetic there. He'll get an opportunity to get up on the mats at the Kohl Center. And then his big brother, Mason Grow, at 215, who's been just wrestling spectacularly this year, had a real tough bracket, but was able to find a way, had an awesome match in the semifinals at sectionals. So he'll have an opportunity there. And what a cool experience for that family, having both boys wrestling at the state tournament. It's going to be really cool and exciting for them. Also very nerve-wracking. Everything is doubled in terms of the stress that comes, but I know that family's going to be really excited about that.
That's a good stress, though, to have, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing I'll say from a coach's perspective, it's great to get any kids up to the state tournament, but in wrestling specifically, when you are wrestling on the mat down at the Kohl Center, the mat size doesn't change, but the venue is just so much bigger and you have so many more people there. So that's such an advantage to be an underclassman or a junior to get there, to get your experience wrestling on that Kohl Center floor, and then to be able to go back your senior year. So look for athletes like Charlie and Avery to have really great experiences this year because they've been there. A lot of those nerves, a lot of the newness, they can shake off, and now they can just figure on wrestling. For Landon, he'll have that opportunity this year and hopefully again next year. But just so proud of all 5 of them for getting up there.
No, so that's going to be a fun time, and we'll be monitoring that and doing live updates on dailydodge.com in the sports tab as all the Beaver Dam wrestlers go through and hopefully can find their way to Sunday in some capacity, and you never know what happens, right?
Yeah, it starts Thursday. They'll go into Friday, and then if they can get to Saturday, they're on the podium. So that's the money.
Yeah, so it should be good there. So again, congratulations to all the Beaver Dam wrestlers and the entire program this year on the boys and the girls side. Coach Winker and Coach Lauterbach and his staff their staff has done a great job. Shifting gears, Ryan, you were at the Family Center on Tuesday night, maybe the biggest crowd ever for a girls hockey game there, and the girls didn't disappoint. Advanced to the sectional final with a 6-0 win over the Metro Lynx. And what can you say about the effort that you saw last night?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody that came out. What an atmosphere that gave our girls. Just a totally, completely packed house. So just from that perspective, it was just an awesome feeling. We, Wade, you and I got to experience that the last couple of years on the boys' side, and just how loud that Family Center can get and how crazy that gets. To be able to provide that on the girls' side last night was just tremendous. So just really happy and thankful for everybody that came out. But, shifting gears to this team, again, so proud of this team. Again, the narrative's out there. 2 years ago, they weren't winning games. They couldn't score goals. Now, fast forward to the present, and they're knocking on the doorstep with a chance to go to the state tournament. Just incredible. That doesn't happen everywhere, and it doesn't happen without a lot of huge work put in by these girls, not only the last couple of years at the high school, but going back into their youth days with the Wildfire here in town, and all the work that all the coaches and the parents have put in to put these girls in position that they're in today. And again, hats off to this coaching staff. You got to have great coaches to lead teams to greatness. You can have all the talent in the world, but if the coaches can't get them there, you're going to falter. So again, we've been very fortunate and very lucky to have Coach Pogorelic and his staff come on and really take over this program and show it new heights. So just really excited for the whole program, for everyone involved with it. Couldn't be prouder of where they're at.
And it's really nice to see too, Ryan, is that Wisconsin Prep Hockey, which is the kind of the premier hockey outlet for news and information in the state of Wisconsin, is kind of taking notice of how Beaver Dam did it. And they've mentioned it in their podcast that they have, and they've written stories on it. How they did leave a what's now a super team co-op, and they took their lumps in a couple of years. And I think it was this week's podcast they talked about maybe this will encourage some other schools who maybe are afraid to break away from a big co-op and put their time in. Yeah, you'll take some lumps, but you come out of the back end, and you see where Beaver Dam now is set up. Where the next few years, their numbers are great in the lower level, and they're out on their own, and along with got some satellite schools within our area, and they've kind of done it, and maybe they're leading the path for some other teams to try to do it themselves as well.
I'd love to have a conversation with you, Wade, long form on these co-ops and where it goes in the high schools, but when we talk co-ops here at Beaver Dam, we co-op with schools that are friendly to us, that are in our area, that are in our immediate area. But more importantly, we're doing it in order to provide numbers and opportunities for our kids. If we could put 4 lines out there, or if we had enough girls on varsity and JV, we probably wouldn't be looking at co-oping, but that's not the reality of where our numbers are. So we're not a big school with big numbers co-oping with another big school with big numbers in order to create a super team. It's really easy to send your kids elsewhere to co-op so they can, quote unquote, be on a super team. Because if you do that, then you don't have to work at having a team. And so I'm really proud of the work that's been done here in Beaver Dam. We've put our rolled up our sleeves. We've put our hands to work. We've built this program. And I say we only because I'm here at the high school. There's a lot of people that have worked hard in the youth program to build it, and people at the high school to build it, and then all these families. Again, we're very proud of our partnership with Columbus and Waterloo and Dodgeland and Horicon and Mayville, but we have enough girls to have a varsity team. We don't have a JV team, so we're not going out and building this, like you said, a super co-op. So I believe we're doing it the right way. The girls that are coming from other schools other than Beaver Dam, they skate with our youth club here. To Wisconsin Prep Hockey's credit, I think they are building it the right way. We certainly have the right leadership in place in Coach Pogorelic. He's got a great vision for where we're going, and I know Justin Rhodes has been a part of that with the youth. I agree. I think this program is being built the right way. Hopefully, it encourages other schools to branch off and find their own programs. I've had a tremendous amount of people reaching out to me asking if we would co-op with them. And again, we're satisfied with where we're at and the teams and the schools we're with. We're looking to build here.
And you look at it, Lena Ruckert's from Horicon, Lil Mansueto, Mayville, the Baker girls, Dot and Della, both of those, all of those kids came through the Wildfire program and played in the Wildfire program, part of the program. You had in the roster, McKenna Bartholomew, you give it up to her. She came out as a freshman and had never played hockey before and has been a big part in keeping this program alive. And then you had, Josie DeLoret moved in from Montana. Otherwise, everybody on this team has played in the Wildfire program, and it's a credit to them, building it right here locally.
Right. And you hit on McKenna there. She started with this program having never played, but they needed numbers because they're at a point where their numbers were so low, they were willing to take anybody and just teach them how to skate. And to McKenna's credit, she's built a love for the sport. She's stuck with it. She's learned it. And, she's going to have a heck of a story when all said is done, from where it started when she got started to where she's going to finish. And that love and passion for hockey, she's going to have the rest of her life, and hopefully that inspires her down the line. It's been an incredible journey that this program's had. I'm very fortunate to have come into it while this has been going on, and been able to observe it and help in the small ways that I've been able to. Again, hats off to the hockey community here in Beaver Dam.
And the work's not done yet, Ryan, because they go to Janesville on Friday night to take on Cap City, team that represented this region at state last year. I think I was reading they've been there 5 times out of this region. It's the northern side of Madison, those schools. And 7 o'clock, the puck's dropping. We'd like to have a huge crowd come down there and back them if they can't. It's on ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. But girls have an opportunity. They've had a great season, but they'd like to find a way to get at least one more victory. And as my old high school basketball coaches say, you go to state, you get the steak dinners, and everybody pats you on the back.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
They've played Cap City twice, and they've been fortunate enough to win the last 2 times. Beating any team, I don't care who they are, 3 times in the same season, it's tough. But again, I think these girls, they're on, to borrow a phrase, they're on a vision quest right now. They know where they want to get. They've had high goals all year. They've had high expectations all year. Now they're putting it forth. I was really happy to see the output that they had Tuesday night at the rink, scoring 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second. They just came out and were very opportunistic. They got outshot, but they were, whenever they took shots, they were putting them in the back of the net. And so, again, they got to finish. They got to keep finishing. Cap City's going to be tough. It's going to be an intense game. If you're into intense hockey, come on down to Janesville on Friday, because it's going to be hotly contested. It's going to be a good atmosphere for hockey, and hopefully we're able to come out on top.
I'm ready to go right now, Ryan. Let's just go down there and hang out at the rink till Friday night.
Yeah, let's go. We could do all of this remotely for the rest of the week.
We could. We're going to be Wally Lukashinsky's going down there along with Aiden Voigt with me. I'm like, you guys, you know how early we're leaving to make sure we get down there and our stuff works. And we're because we're going to a rink we've never been to before, and we'll be there extra early. I'm like, if it works, we'll just go get something to eat after that.
There you go.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to pack a lunch over to the field house on Friday night as well, because the Beaver Dam girls are renewing another old Little 10 rivalry. The Slinger Owls coming to town as they have a D2 regional semifinal. Another one you'll watch on Daily Dodge TV, but we want to fill the field house for that one. TJ Jolka's squad getting ready for a run.
Yeah, and again, they came in as the number one seed, and they were fortunate enough to get a bye, so they were off last night, and were able to go and watch Slinger and West Bend West play each other. And speaking of playing a team three times, those are two conference teams, Slinger and West Bend, who played twice in the regular season, then had to get matched up first round in the playoffs. Slinger was able to come out top. I think it's kind of cool that they're playing an old Little 10 rival. To me, we should be playing the Hartfords and the Slingers a little bit more than we typically do. But look, this Golden Beaver team, they're doing it differently than they have in the past. They're really strong defensively. The scoring might not be there like they've had in the past, but they're shutting people down on defense. And when they choose to press and when they choose to really ramp up their defense, they've really made their money. So there's a reason they're the number one seed. They're excited to host on Friday. They got to take care of business, because if they do, they're going to have a game on Saturday hosting here at the Fieldhouse. So again, lots to play for here as they get their tournament series underway. But again, a lot of pedigree, a lot of lineage says that this program knows what it takes to make a run, and I think they're primed to do that. Look for Tay Donaldson to obviously score a ton. She's been their go-to all year long. And then Shea Ashley and Emma Jolka, and certainly Abby Guknick has been scoring from the three-point line as of late. This team can get hot and they can make a run, but it starts Friday against Slinger.
It does, Ryan. Again, if they win Friday, win Saturday, play for a plaque to put on the wall in the high school if you get to a regional final. So we're talking to Ryan Gerber, Director of Athletics and Activities at Beaver Dam High School here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Tim Ladrin's boys basketball team found out their path to the state tournament. It starts at home next Tuesday against Milwaukee Marshall, and that's another game you'll have on ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV.
Yeah, so the boys got a 5 seed. I know that they're probably looking at a little bit higher seed, but when you look at the bracket and you look at how everything shakes out, I think they've got a real nice path here. So they're going to host Milwaukee Marshall, and I know Coach was digging into the scouting on them last night, and they like the matchup. It's going to be a test, but they certainly like the matchup, and certainly appreciate any time you can host a playoff game here at home in the Fieldhouse. So we're looking for everybody to come on out. That's a Tuesday night game on the 4th. So we're looking forward for a big night there. If they're able to get through that game, then they'll go on the road to Sauk Prairie, who's the 4 seed, who got a bye in the first round. So they're awaiting us. And again, anytime you play a Badger Conference school, even though it's a playoffs, it doesn't necessarily feel like the playoffs, because it just seems like another league game. And I think that's okay when you're getting into the playoffs and you're able to take away some of the heightened emotion of postseason play, and you can just focus in like it's a league game. I think that helps. And so, they start with Milwaukee Marshall. If they can get a win there, they're going to go to Sauk. Sauk, had a real nice season. Obviously, they're a 4 seed, but again, it's a matchup in the Badger Conference League that I think we like that opportunity. And then if they're fortunate enough to get there, then they have Brookfield Central. But again, it's like anything. No matter what sports you're talking about, you get in the playoffs, you get in those games, you set yourself up. Once you have a ticket to the dance, anything is possible. And I like this team. We've talked about it all year long. They've got 7 or 8 guys that can score at will. They can hit threes in bunches. They're a matchup nightmare for teams. So again, I'm real interested to see what Coach Ladrin and his staff have cooked up for Marshall, and then hopefully Sauk Prairie in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where Tim and Coach Ladrin loaded up the non-conference schedule with some quality opponents, and you hope those matchups, or maybe they came out on the short end, pay off here in the postseason when they square up for real here down the stretch.
Right. Again, regular season is really important, and if you can win a conference title, that's what you should go for, right? You want to have success, but so much more goes into scheduling. And Coach Ladrin has been very intentional this year, and even going into now next year, scheduling a tough non-conference in order to battle test this team, because at the end of the day, the regular season is nice, and if you can win a conference title, that's great. But where you really want to make hay is that postseason and make a run to the Kohl Center. So again, I'm not saying that that's where everything goes this year or next year or any year, but you want to give yourself the best opportunity to make a run that you can, and that starts with playing good talent. You got to beat good talent. and play good talent in order to have that success later. And I think coach has set himself up well.
So it should be a great couple of weeks here for Beaver Dam High School athletics. And Ryan, on the arts and activities and music side right now, we're still kind of in that, there's play practice going on. There's forensics. I know they had a district last week. They're getting ready for the next round of that. I know that we have, some music stuff going on. And so there's lots of activity going on in the auditorium and in the music halls, isn't there?
Right. Yeah. So, on March 8th, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're actually going to be hosting District Solo Ensemble. And from that event, individuals or groups can qualify to the State Solo Ensemble. So that's a really big deal in the music world, if you're not familiar with that. We're very fortunate to host that. And I know Mr. Lefebvre has a lot of designs to possibly make that even bigger in future years. So that's on March 8th. That's really where the focus is right now at the high school. Just learning and perfecting their performances and getting them ready for that. So that's a huge undertaking. They will have the entire high school that day. They typically start, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they'll go till about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. We're actually slated to host a sectional final girls basketball game that night. That won't be till 7 o'clock, so there shouldn't be any spillover, but that's going to be a big day for our music department. I should note, and it's unfortunate, but we've been talking the last couple of weeks on this program that we've been looking for and trying to reschedule the Parade of Bands event that got postponed a couple months back due to weather. We were unable to find a date to reschedule this year. So unfortunately, we won't be making up Parade of Bands this year. However, it is still on the schedule along with String Fling next year, the same time frame. And then we did build in next year a makeup date in the event that we would get snow or cold that would cancel it. So hopefully we don't have to have this unfortunate cancellation in years forward.
All right, Ryan, I want to jump back to sports here just quickly. I know that, winter sports are still going on, but spring sports are already organizing. I know teams are having meetings on the schedule to get things going. They're, trying to get information. Practices start in less than a month for pretty much everything. So, that's on the docket as well. If you have a child that's playing a spring sport, they didn't tell you, make sure you ask them that they went to their meeting and they're signed up, correct?
Yeah. So we just had a spring sport meeting last week. So if they weren't able to make it, they need to see their coach. If they don't know who their coach is, because maybe they're a freshman, they can pop down to the athletic department and talk to me, or then you can go on the website, go to our activities page, and under athletics, I have a picture of each one of our coaches with their contact information by season, so you can reach out to them. Something important to note, track will start on March 10th. Softball starts March 17th, and baseball has pitchers and catchers reporting on March 16th. No, they're not going in the Cactus League. But it is important to note that because these sports start before or at spring break, that these sports will practice over spring break during time. So if that's a concern, you need to be reaching out to your coach and getting that information and seeing what the expectations are. It comes up every single year. And it's just the way the WIA calendar works and where our spring break is. And it's just a reality of spring athletics in Wisconsin. But make sure you're reaching out to your coaches and getting those expectations.
Ryan, I appreciate all that you do. Again, it's going to be a fun weekend here with girls hockey, girls basketball, wrestling. All these student athletes and the coaches and staff are representing our district well at these events, and win or lose, you tip your cap and you're so proud of how everybody does and how everybody's represented themselves here this year.
We're very fortunate here in Beaver Dam. We have great kids. We have great programs. We want to continue that tradition going forward. We're also very proud of the effort our kids have put in and the work they've put in, and very thankful for the work our coaches have put in. So we're hoping to have a great end to our winter season, which will just roll into hopefully a great spring.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate all the work you do as well. Ryan Gerber, Beaver Dam High School Director of Athletics and Activities. This is Inside Beaver Dam High School Athletics and Activities on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.